Have you ever been praying for a breakthrough, maybe a healing or with a relationship or a specific direction, and you're holding your breath, just waiting for a sign? Perhaps you're asking, when God says yes, how do I recognize it? Is it always a lightning bolt? Or can it be a quiet whisper that I might accidentally overlook? You're tired of living in maybe, and you want to know what a divine green light actually feels like. Take heart, you're in the right place. By the end of today's episode, you will understand 5 divine scriptural signatures of a divine yes, and learn why some answers are immediate while others are a lifetime in the making. We're going to help you solve second guessing by looking at the story of King Hezekiah and the long-awaited miracle of Zechariah and Elizabeth. We're moving from I hope he heard me to radiating with his answer. Stay tuned. Ordinary women, extraordinary faith. When God calls, we say yes. Hello and welcome to another episode of the Arise Woman of God podcast. I'm your host, Tamara K. Anderson, and joining me today is the wonderfully talented Kari Anjewierden. And today we're talking all about how a yes from God is one of the most beautiful experiences we humans can have, but it doesn't always look the same. There are examples of a quick yes. For example, in Matthew chapter 8, we look at the story of the leper who calls out, "Lord, if thou wilt, thou canst make me clean." Jesus answered immediately and said, "I will, be thou clean." Just like that. The yes was instant. Other times, there is a slow yes. Look at the story of Zechariah and Elizabeth. They were well stricken in years, the scriptures tell us, and likely had prayed for a child for decades. Their yes finally came in the temple through an angel, resulting in the birth of their son, John the Baptist. Their miracle required a lifetime of waiting on God and his timing, because John needed to be born at a very specific time to usher in the Savior. Other times there is a powerful yes. Look at the story of King Hezekiah, who asked for protection against an invading army. In 2 Kings chapter 19, he said, God's yes was a shield. He said, quote, "I will defend this city." Powerful answer. Powerful yes. So whether it's a quick yes, slow yes, or a powerful defense, a yes from God has a very specific feeling in our heart and soul. So let's look at the scriptures to see what that feels like and looks like. When God says yes to your heart, it often leaves a physical and emotional trail. In Psalm 131, we read about a calm soul, where God compares it to a weaned child who is quiet and satisfied because their needs have been met. Psalm 34:5 describes radiance and joy because it says those who look to him are radiant, and that is a joy that overflows. So that can be another way God says yes. Psalm 63:5 talks about a rich feast and says that the soul feels satisfied as if it has just finished the richest of foods. You know what it feels like to be full and satisfied. That is how a yes answer can also feel. Philippians 4:7 talks about a peace, quote, "surpasses all understanding," and acts as a protector over your mind because you know the answer, and doubts can just bounce right off because you felt that peace from God. Matthew 11:28 is one of my favorite verses because it talks about rest and relief as we yoke ourselves to God. In that instance, a yes feels like the lifting or sharing of a heavy weight. Kari is now going to share how a yes can often feel like the physical sensation of light entering a room.
But for me, feelings, I would say, are probably the top way that I feel him speaking to me. And sometimes it's a quiet voice inside my head that just an idea that sparks, or sometimes I have actually heard audible voice before, but those are very few and far between for me.
It reminds me of that verse in James chapter 1, verse 17, where it says, every good gift, and you can even say every good inspiration, and every perfect gift is from above and cometh down from the Father of lights. I like that description of God, the Father of lights, because you can almost think of it as light coming down, inspiration. If it's good light, if it's bringing you joy, peace, it's from Him.
Is it moving you forward?
Mm.
And then I always have to put in my plug for miracles. If you are seeing God's hand in your life, if He is showing up, things go smoothly when they shouldn't, He's there. That's also a way that God can answer. It doesn't have to be a voice or a thought or any of those things. It can just be, I'm here.
One of the most profound yeses I ever received was when I was deciding to marry my husband. He had already received his answer and was ready to propose, but I hadn't received mine yet, so he had to wait. We spent the next weekend visiting his extended family, and I got to know him both on the drive up, watching him interact with his family, and on the drive back. Once I got home, I sat down and I told God, I've decided I want to marry him. Is that okay with you? And then the answer came. The response wasn't just a quiet nudge. It was an electrifying yes. And it just tingled throughout my entire body with goosebumps and a joy that I can't describe. Sometimes God waits for us to do the work and make the choice before He provides that radiant confirmation. So whether your yes feels like a peace or a weaned child's satisfaction or an electrifying confirmation, know that God is a rewarder of those who diligently seek Him. He wants to give you good things. He wants your joy to be full. To help you recognize and record those powerful yeses, we want to give you our free roadmap to revelation, 6 steps to hearing God in your daily life, along with our free audio meditation to help you prepare to receive light and revelation. Those are free by clicking the link below. In the guide, go to step number 2, finding your frequency. It lists specific questions to help you distinguish between your own excitement and God's supernal peace. And I invite you in step 6 to record those answers throughout your week. When you treat God's yes with respect by recording it, you invite Him to speak to you more clearly next time, and you record it for posterity. So my friends, go look for God's radiant yes today. And until next time, may you arise, do it God's way, God strong.